Hello, yes, and welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and welcome to Saturday's show. On the second part of today's show, we'll be reading an article, an exclusive from Boris Kitt and Aaron Crouch from The Hollywood Reporter, where they claim that Ezra Miller has had a meeting with new Warner Brothers Pictures co-chairs, Pamela Adby and Mike DeLuca, and he's been begging them not to cancel the Flash movie. I think by now we know they're not going to cancel the Flash movie, so we'll get into that article a little bit later on. I would love to have been a fly on the wall in that conversation. As I say, it shouldn't be called Tinseltown, it should be called fucking Crazy Town. Hollywood should be renamed Arkhamwood, Arkham Asylum Wood. I mean, they're all fucking insane, because if anyone had committed the alleged crimes that Ezra Miller had all throughout this year, they wouldn't be in work anymore. But movies are worth billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they ain't going to cancel a movie like the Flash movie. It's too important to them, and the big buck is more important than someone committing crimes. Anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later on. So, first of all, I want to talk about my confusion with David Zaslav's 10-year plan. I am confused, everyone. I am, right. So we've been hearing from the media and a multitude of reliable outlets that David Zaslav wants one defined DC universe. But still, he's commissioned the Batman sequel, directed and written by Matt Reeves, and a Joker sequel written and directed by Todd Phillips. That's two separate universes. And then we've still got the DCEU. So what's going on here? You either want one defined universe or you don't. And it's just strange to me, because all intents and purposes, he doesn't like the multiverse strategy. That's why he cancelled Batgirl, because Keaton was on it in that movie, and also it was the first movie that basically that introduces us to the new Flashpoint timeline that Barry Allen creates after he fixes Flashpoint. So they've done away with that film for that reason, which is interesting if you ask me, because you don't like the multiverse strategy, but you're okay with the Batman universe and then a separate Joker universe as well. And we still got the DCEU. So, as I say, in all intents and purposes, the Snyderverse is back. Although the Snyderverse never really went away, did it? In all honesty, the Snyderverse didn't really go away, did it? The Snyder timeline was always there, from Man of Steel to James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. It's that timeline. Nothing ever changed, because we didn't get to see the Flash movie. And now you're going to see a different Flash movie, which clearly cuts Michael Keaton out at the end of it, when they were going to make him the DCEU Batman, one of the dumbest ideas in storytelling history. But this is modern day Hollywood. You know, they're just a bunch of clowns who are not funny. That's the only way I can describe the modern day industry. And so, yeah, the Snyder timeline, that's a thing now. No multiverse strategy, no Keaton Batman. So that's where we're going with that. But we have 3 different universes. So what is this 10-year plan? So clearly they've got a 10-year plan. We're not going to see any of that content for at least probably another 3 years. So they've got 3 years. So they need some content. So you'll have the Batman 2, you'll have the Joker movie. We've still got Shazam! Fury of the Gods to come next year, the Flash movie hopefully next year, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and Blue Beetle. We've got 4 movies coming out. Could it be, and I mean, how much more delays can DC fans take? I do suspect, though, what we may see here is two DC movies in 2023, another 2 DCEU movies in 2024, and maybe they'll delay the Batman and Joker sequels till 2025. Why would they do this? Because it gives them time. They need content while they're making this new plan. So it could easily be that they say, right, we've done two the Batman movies, we've done two Joker movies now, right? Fair enough. We've done them, we've agreed to them, and we've released all these DCEU movies. So by the time we finish in 2025, which is just under 3 years' time, they should be ready to nearly release the first part of this new 10-year DC plan. So that's my theory. That's what I think they'll do in the end. I think they're just going to release all these movies to give them time and then start releasing their new DC universe. And there's lots of different people who don't agree with this theory, but if they were to stick with this, like a Batman franchise, a Joker franchise in a separate universe, and the DCEU, and then you ask yourself, well, wouldn't it have actually been better to stick with the multiverse strategy? Because if you're going to have loads of different universes, why don't you like the idea of the multiverse strategy? What he's saying, what Zaslav's saying is, it's far too confusing. But so is this. I mean, it's not as confusing, but you've got 3 different franchises. And personally, I think it's a dumb move. I really do. But I do kind of suspect that all these films will be released, then they'll start again. That's how I see this going. Because having like 3 different universes is, listen, I just don't see it. And the reason I don't see a future for the DCEU is because of what I've said before. It doesn't have any consumer confidence. So I don't see like this new CEO of this new studio saying, yeah, let's continue with that. I think it all points to just them releasing these movies, then starting again. And as I say, many of you watching this want the Snyderverse to continue, restored. So you're going to say, you're wrong, Mick, we can have it all. And maybe you're right, and I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. We're just talking here. Because right now, the way Zaslav's talking, I can't see us continuing with 3 different universes as part of a 10-year plan. There is, of course, the scenario of continuing the Snyderverse via the Snyder timeline. There's that. There's also the theory of maybe the Batman universe being the next universe. Obviously, the Batman stands would love that. I can't see that either. We'll have to wait and see. But it is pretty confusing. It's a bit hard to tell what their plan is. But from what I can see, they just want to release these damn movies, make them as good as possible. And Zaslav's famous, we love these movies, but we can make them better. Tells you everything you want to know. So that's how I see this going. I just see them releasing these movies, then starting again. And the potential new DC studio president has been caught in an interview calling Snyder fans bots. It seems like he was joking. It looks like they were talking about his appointment. I don't know when this video was made. And she said something like, you're lucky anyway because, you'd be mocked by all these Snyder fans. And he goes, yeah, the bots. So I don't know. These things always come out. So it's not helpful for this video to be like leaked on Twitter and all over social media. But we'll see what happens because, look, this is what I mean. It's just such a mess. You've got the Snyderverse. You've got Snyder fans wanting to restore the Snyderverse. You've got the Batman stands wanting it all to come from the Batman universe. They obviously want that universe to continue. And then there's the Joker universe as well. So I just feel we're just going to release these movies. But does Reeves get a 3rd movie? That's the question here. The only way he gets a 3rd movie, I think, in my opinion, is if it all comes, the brand new DC universe is coming out of the Batman universe. So, although I doubt it, it's also another possibility. We can't discount anything at this stage. But it is utterly confusing, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Before we get into Aaron Crouch's and Boris Kitt's exclusive for The Hollywood Reporter on Ezra Miller, I want to kind of talk about some breaking rumor from Umberto Gonzalez of is it Heroic Hollywood or whatever publication he writes for. He is claiming, I don't know where he said it, if it's on Instagram, he's got me blocked on Twitter anyway, so I'm kind of blind to his posts. He's claiming that Henry Cavill will appear in Black Adam. So we spoke about this the other day. I told you my little theory and what my sources are telling me. Apparently when he got COVID and he stopped shooting on The Witcher Season 3, he actually didn't have COVID and went off to do something for Black Adam. That's what I'm being told. I believe that rumour and I believe what Umberto's saying as well. But until we get something concrete, it's just rumour and innuendo. Anyway, let's get to this big story, because it's never boring in the world of DC live action, is it? We've always got something to talk about. Ezra Miller meets with Warner's leadership in the Flash Course Correct exclusive. This is by Boris Kitt and Aaron Crouch. The meeting on the Burbank lot between the actor, their agent, and Warner's Michael DeLuca and Pam Abby sought to quell concerns over the star's arrests and controversies. As I said earlier, this is the only industry where someone who's been causing, well, not mischief, he's been breaking the law. He's not a boy at all, is he? He's not even a he. They. Ezra is a they. I'll try and remember it as we read this article. But as I say, only this industry would be patting someone on the head and saying, there, it's fine, Ezra. You can do whatever you like. Look, it's ridiculous, but they want to release this film, and this is where we are, whether you like it or not. This was one of the most consequential weeks in DC's history. I don't think it was. I don't think it was that big a deal this week. Anyway, Warner Brothers Discovery seems to have found the executive to lead that division's film. All right, that's kind of historic, but it's not official yet. And TV efforts, there were funeral screenings for cancelled movie Batgirl and the shifting of major tentpoles. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and Shazam Fury of the Gods highlighted the sand under the newly acquired studio's feet. Aquaman's push was due to the long runaway need to complete the intensive and complex visual effects. Well, Aaron and the other guy, I forgot his name already, but that is not true. It's not. We're talking about a 9-month delay. This is what I was frustratingly trying to explain to people when they delayed the Flash movie. You know, we're talking about Ezra Miller and his misdemeanors, right? That's why that film was delayed, among other reasons. Nothing to do with the claimed VFX delays. And they're doing it again with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It wasn't delayed because of VFX. It's clear they're going to make huge changes to that movie. And one of those changes is changing the actor playing Mira. It's fucking obvious. So where are we? Yeah. Runaway need to complete the intensive and complex visual effects, while Shazam's departed a date that was a week away from Juggernaut Avatar, The Way of the Water. And amid all of the chaos this week on the Burbank lot, one could have easily missed a pair of figures walking around the offices and heading to a meeting of the highest order. But that's what Ezra Miller, the star of Warner's high-profile movie, The Flash, and the CAA agent Scott Metzger did Wednesday, the same day a Batgirl screening took place. They're obsessed with this funeral screening. Miller, who uses they-them pronouns, why is that relevant? And their agent met with the new Warner Brothers film chairs, Michael DeLuca and Pam Abby, to discuss not only how to stay on course for the Flash June 23rd, 2023 release date, but to reaffirm their commitment to the movie, as well as apologise for bringing negative attention to the production and the company. I'll bet you everything I've got that the Flash movie will not release, whether it happens or not. Well, it is going to happen. I don't think it'll be happening next June. That's just my theory. It's just not the type of date big studios put big movies out. And I think maybe a more of a delay. As I say, there's an opportunity here with 4 movies coming out next year to release 2 next year. I don't know which ones. And the other 2 the next year, and then the Batman sequel and the Joker sequel in 2025. It just helps them get this 10-year plan up and running, and they can release these movies in the meantime, then start again. Over the past 2 years, Miller has been at the centre of arrests and controversy, culminating with the actor announcing his mea culpa August the 15th and saying they were seeking help for mental health issues, said the actor in a statement at the time. I want to apologise to everyone that I have alarmed and upset with my past behaviour. According to sources, Miller vowed to seek help after learning that DeLuca and Abbey were considering all options for The Flash, including scrapping the $250 million movie if things devolved further with Miller, while the actor is said not to have minded the stream of bad headlines. I mean, if you don't care about headlines about you breaking the law, then you're definitely gone, aren't you? They were spooked by the notion of the film getting cancelled and jolted to take action, says one source. They care about the Flash. It's one of their favourite characters to play. Now, putting their criminal behaviour to one side, it's true. Ezra Miller cares about the Flash. He's fought for this movie for years. He drove directors out because he didn't like their plan. He even sat there with an iconic, legendary comic book writer trying to make the film better. He really cares about the Flash character. That's one thing I can say for them. Details of the meeting were not revealed, but it was the first time that Miller spoke with DeLuca and Abbey, who took over running the film division at the beginning of July and inherited a DC slate of movies in various stages of post-production. They inherited a clusterfuck. Let's say it how it is, lads. The actor was apologetic and affirmed their commitment to both getting care and to the production. Warner's had no comment and Miller's representatives could not be reached for comment. Where were they? In Australia or something? They're in Mars, that's why you can't reach them. The move comes as work on The Flash, directed by Andy Muschietti, moves full steam ahead, with Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav not wavering on its release date, even as Warner's this week pushed Shazam! Fury of the Gods out of 2022 and Aquaman 2 back from March 23 to Christmas of that year. Yes, let's get one thing clear. You see, they're adding 2 and 2 together and getting 60 billion because they think because this film hasn't been delayed yet, it won't be delayed. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see for that. Next week, composer Benjamin Wolfish will lead a scoring session at Abbey Road Studios in London. Sources say visual effects work continues and could be done by the end of the year. After months of upsetting headlines about Miller, the mood regarding Flash is more hopeful on the lot than it's been in some time, even if the movie still has a ways to go before its ultimate release date. Still, the movie was receiving some of the highest scores at the test screening since Christopher Nolan's Batman movies, and execs and critics believe they have goods to have a critical and box office hit that lives up to those scores. So that's the article. So I want to talk about these so-called high test scores. They keep on reminding us about this. I don't know if they're trying to convince us or themselves that they're onto a really big movie, a really good movie. So I don't know who they're trying to convince really, because as I said before, this film has had more test screenings than any other DC movie in its history. And I've explained to you, you know what test screenings are. You're not going there to have fun, because if they keep on putting out test screenings, it's because they're not sure about the movie and they're basically finding out what needs fixing. We know it's had some reshoots during the summer. Will it have more reshoots? I think it will. I think it will. And I think they're definitely making changes to the end of the movie if they haven't. And rumours say Ben Affleck will be doing more sequences for the end of the movie, because I feel Affleck is replacing Michael Keaton's Batman at the end of the movie. You don't scrub Keaton out of this movie because he'll put butts on seats. It's one of the reasons it's getting such a high score among other cameos in the movie. I'm not saying a word. So I think Keaton stays in the movie. But at the end, he doesn't become the DCEU Batman and Batfleck is still the Batman. I think this is what's going to happen in this movie. But as I said, as far as I'm concerned, and there was this long discussion the other day when I had a premiere, as I was saying, I don't get it. Why are they doing this? Why are they keeping Batfleck if they're just going to end everything? Because it's just a theory of mine. These are not facts. But let me explain to you why. Because there's no point doing a multiverse strategy if you're just going through the motions. But they want to make money on these movies. That's the point. That's the point. I believe that's what they're going to do. So, look, the Flash movie is happening, but they're going to make improvements, like they're going to make huge improvements on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So that's Ezra Miller basically begging for his career and begging for the Flash movie. He cares about the movie, they care about the movie. I respect that, but I can't respect the crimes you've allegedly committed, Ezra. You know, these are things that should never have happened. No one should get away with doing these things. How will they ever learn their lesson if they are protected from Hollywood studio elites for the rest of their lives? They won't learn. It's the spoiled child syndrome. So the DCEU is where the DCEU is always in flux. I will keep you posted on any more developments. This has been Friday's show here on Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And look at it. Look at it. Look how amazing I am. Until I see you for Sunday's show, because I've just filmed this a day before I was going to release it. It's confusing. So I will see you for Sunday's show. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.